One of the very first appointments Donald Trump made after winning the election in November was tapping one man to be what he calls his border czar. Tom Homan is a former Border Patrol agent and acting director of ICE with decades of experience in Republican and Democratic administrations. I sat down with him this week and began our conversation by asking him about the role of the U.S. military.
We got military on the border, not only helping us with departure flights on military planes, but they're helping to build infrastructure. They're putting up concertina wire. They're down there to create a secure border and lock that border down. And DOD's helped administrations before, but not at this level. So it's a force multiplier, and it's sending a strong signal to the world. Our border's closed.
So is this what we will see every single day, ending in what the president has promised is millions and millions being deported?
Yes. But you're going to see the numbers steadily increase, the number of arrests nationwide as we open up the aperture. Right now it's concentrating on public safety threats, national security threats. That's a smaller population. So we're going to do this on priority base, as President Trump's promised, but as that aperture opens, there'll be more arrests nationwide.
When you talk about the aperture opening, the estimates of perhaps those who have been convicted or arrested in the past, 700,000 to over 1 million. So after you do that, then you go after everybody who is there illegally.
If you're in the country illegally, you're on the table.
Why is it so hard for people to understand that the minute that you cross over here illegally, you really are a criminal? If I go and steal a car, but you only going after people that steal cars that use them in order to do drive-bys, because you want to go against the people or you want to go after the people that did the most, extreme crimes, it doesn't mean that I'm not a thief. It doesn't mean that I have a warrant issued for my arrest because I stole a car. My crime may not be as severe as the person that went over there and did a drive-by with the car that they stole, but it doesn't mean that I'm not a criminal. And so the minute that people came over to this country illegally is when they then became criminals. And they're telling us, oh, no. We should just allow for people to do what they're going to do and send the money that they make here back home and all of this stuff. And no, we still need to address the fundamental issue that people felt like the borders was open and they was going to take advantage of the American dollar and just go from there. That's still an issue.
Because it's not okay to violate laws of this country. You got to remember, every time you enter this country illegally, you violated a crime under Title 8 United States Code 1325. It's a crime. So if you're in the country illegally, you got a problem. And that's why I'm hoping those who are in the country illegally who have not been ordered removed by the federal judge should leave.
While you are emphasizing that you go after national security threats, you have said no one's off the table. If you're in the country illegally, you better be looking over your shoulder. You should be afraid and start packing now. Is that what you're doing to get hotel workers out or people working on farms, that they'll be so scared?
Such a disingenuous question. And they always want to lead with, well, what happens to the person that works in a hotel or on farms and stuff like that? So basically what the United States of America is trying to do and what all of these liberals are really doing, which shows you the class war that we really have, not even from the elites, but from the middle class to the normal everyday people, that basically is saying and communicating to you guys, hey, we still want an underclass of people to serve us, to pick our strawberries, to make sure that our bananas is on the table, to ensure that they clean our hotel rooms. What happened to all of these people that advocated for a livable wage for everybody? What happened to that? What happened to all of the people that said that we don't have enough jobs and layoffs are everywhere? Oh, you just don't want to do the hard jobs. Okay, I get it. What happened to, the McDonald's jobs and the fast food jobs being for the teenagers and people that are home from school and all of this stuff? Now we want to subsidize it because we've adjusted our cultural norm to have a permanent underclass, but that is something that we need to solve for within ourselves in the United States of America. To be honest with you, I will tell you the truth. There's a lot of automation. Like even when you look at a lot of these farms and the things that people are doing as far as investing in equipment, they have equipment now that basically eliminates all of the people that are working on the farms. And I'm not saying that that's entirely true across the entire industry for everything that is grown on a farm, but I'm telling you that there's a huge form of solving for problems, and you will be amazed at the level of ingenuity that is implemented once we're able to solve for all of the problems that we have. But it's not, the solution is not to allow for people to come over here illegally and do what they want to do when they want to do it. That's never a solution, and that should not be the solution. But this is what they lead with in order to justify that we need an underclass of people to continue to do what we want them to do.
They just leave?
Look, I think if you're in the country legally, it's not okay. It's not okay to violate laws of this country. We have millions of people standing in line, taking the test, doing their background investigation, paying the fees that want to come in the right way.
Let's talk about the arrests so far. Numbers released the first day were over 500, and there were reports that one was a suspected terrorist, others were gang members. Were all of the people who were arrested on day one, as far as you know, convicted criminals or those who had been arrested before?
No. And let me explain that. There are collateral arrests. Where do collateral arrests happen? Sanctuary cities. And this is important we understand that. Sanctuary cities lock us out of the jails. So instead of ICE being able to arrest the bad guy, the criminal alien, in the safety and security of the jail where the officer's safe, the alien's safe, and the public's safe, sanctuary cities release them back in the community, which endangers the community, putting the criminal alien back in the community. But when we find him, he's going to be with others, most likely. Many times they're with others. If they're in the country legally, they're coming too.
But were these arrests all in sanctuary cities? It doesn't appear so on the first day.
The collaterals, many more. I don't have the exact breakdown. But again,
so the arrests in
Massachusetts,
in Chelsea, Massachusetts, which the governor said it's great to arrest the criminals who have been convicted, but were there people taken there as well who were?
All of them are criminals. It's just that some of those criminals committed a more egregious crime, similar to the situation I just painted for you guys.
Not convicted.
Were
sure they, as you say, collateral?
I'm sure they are.
You talk about these numbers expanding. 500 the first day. What do you think you can get up to?
As many as we can get. As many,
what can happen at this point, given your manpower?
Look, I think we're in the beginning stages. We're bringing more resources into this operation. As a whole of government, we're going to have DOJ assisting us. And like the DOD piece, helping build infrastructure, helping the transportation, that takes ICE, badges and guns, out of those duties and puts them on the street.
I want to go back to who you're deporting. Aside from the long list of executive actions, the administration said it will no longer tell ICE agents they have to avoid sensitive locations, including schools, hospitals, churches. Benjamin Huffman, the acting Homeland Security Secretary, said in a statement, criminals will no longer be able to hide in America's schools and churches to avoid arrest. What criminals?
Isn't that a huge departure away from Mayorkas?
Are hiding in schools?
Look,
middle schools, elementary schools. You going to go into those?
How many MS-13 members are the age of 14 to 17? So, look, if it's a national security threat, public safety threat, and what you need to understand is a case by case. Name another agency, another law enforcement agency that has those type of requirements that they can't walk into a school or a doctor's office or on a medical campus. No other agencies held to those standards. These are well-trained officers with a lot of discretion. And when it comes to sensitive location, there's still going to be supervisory review. So it's not like it's an open issue. But ICE officers should have discretion to decide if a national security threat or a public safety threat in one of these facilities, then there should be an option for them to make the arrest.
And that's 100% true. And I don't think that you should be able to seek the safe haven of some of our most treasured places to hide because you committed a crime and you don't want to go back home. Go home. Go home. And more importantly, let's really have this conversation too, because this is a part of the conversation that we don't talk about. The fact that there are a lot of people that say, you know what, I'm not going to wait for this to happen to me. I'm going to go ahead and get myself together, and I'm going to go ahead and enjoy and make Mexico great again, make Colombia great again, make Venezuela great again. We already seen what happened as far as a lot of those countries, like Colombia, bending the knee after Trump threatened the tariffs to basically allow for the deported criminals to go back into their country. They don't even want those people back into their country. So what makes you think that we should accept them inside of the United States of America? More importantly, it's disrespectful to the people that have been in line and the millions of people that's waiting for them to get over here legally and become United States citizens. it's disrespectful to them for other people to come over here and do what they're doing. Make sure you tap into the Patreon link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Teach Hanley 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. You guys let me know what you think inside of the chat. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.